Hey, what's up, y'all? RJ here with CV Tech, and today I'm giving my first thoughts and opinion on the Coolpad Catalyst. This is on T-Mobile. This came out around the beginning of June of 2016. This phone is also available through Walmart Family Mobile, which also works on the T-Mobile network. And I bought this phone for primarily one reason. T-Mobile has told me that in my immediate area that they have really bumped up LTE and really bumped up voice reception and signal and everything else. So I decided I would buy this phone here and just see, maybe, because I'm thinking about, maybe switching carriers in the next month or two, to give just something a little bit different here. Boost Mobile is awesome. But a little bit of issue I've been having with them here lately, which will be in a separate video here coming up soon. So I tried out this T-Mobile phone, and the Catalyst is brand new, so I thought, well, while I'm checking the service, might as well unbox it, first thoughts it, and review it. So that's what I'm doing. Now this phone here, it ranges between 60 and 70 bucks depending on where you buy this phone from. And this phone reminds me a lot like the ZTE Prestige on Boost Mobile. The front of it is almost identical to it, except for the bottom buttons here. They're reversed. Other than that, the back of it is different. It's got a different feeling back to it, much different than any back that I have felt on any kind of phone. It is rather thick, as you see there, but very easy to grab a hold on, and it's pretty comfortable. Like I said, the back does feel different. Some may like it, some may not. But anyway, this phone does have a 5-inch display, and it is pretty low resolution at 480 by 854 resolution, with around 196 pixels per inch, which is, pretty weak, but it is what it is. It is a low-end budget device, so you can't really expect a whole awful lot. It does have a TFT screen, so of course, whenever you look at different viewing angles, it's going to be, what it is. This phone does run Android 5.1 Lollipop, and it probably won't get anything higher than that. Just pretty much throwing that out there. This phone does run the 1.1 gigahertz quad-core Snapdragon 210 processor, with, of course, the same 1 gigabyte of RAM, 8 gigs of built-in storage, with around 4.5 to 5 gigabytes available to user, and it will support expandable storage up to 32 gigabytes. Now, this phone also has a 2200 milliamp hour battery, and it is user replaceable, which is really nice to always be able to change your battery just in case one goes bad. You can always buy another one, slap it in there, you're ready to roll. And by looking at here, it says talk time is around 9 hours with around 10 days of standby time. So of course that always varies on how much you use your phone. I get a lot of comments, saying how's battery life on it and on different phones. And like I always try to say, battery life always varies on how you use your phone. If you barely use it, then it's going to last a long time. If you are a power user, it won't last a very long time. Now, this phone is an LTE compatible device, and I will look here at the bands that it supports, and it does say that it is an LTE Cat 4, which is 150 megabits per second download with 50 upload, and it does have it shows here band 4, band 2, band 4, band 12. Which is what it shows right here, so that's just what I'm going with. MSR price is $100, which of course you can get it cheaper than that. Like I said, 60-70 bucks depending on where you buy it from. This phone also has a 5 megapixel camera on the rear with an LED flash, records in 720. Also has a 2 megapixel camera on the front, records in 720 as well. And if you go to my channel, you can see a front and rear video sample of this device. Now, like I said, this phone does remind me a lot like the ZTE Prestige and the ZTE Avid Plus on T-Mobile. So basically, the phone looks the same, and it could be inspired by ZTE, could even be made by ZTE. Who knows? But looking at the phone here, you will see that the phone screen does look pretty good when you look down at the phone, it kind of washes out. When you look up at the phone a little bit, as you see there, it really brightens it up, makes it look clear. Down, it's kind of fuzzy and washed out. Up, it kind of makes it a little bit clearer. So that goes for anything that you do. When you look at it from the side, watching like a YouTube video, you can look here at the display and see how it kind of washes out. So really, honestly, watching videos is not going to be this phone's strong point. 480 video on YouTube is all you can stream, so I want to go ahead and throw that out there. But the phone is pretty smooth. It works pretty fluidly without much lag. I don't have very many apps on here. It's not loaded down with apps. I'll go in here and I will show you the storage. And if you look here at the menu settings here, which I can't get it to, it looks a lot like a ZTE menu system. So yeah, I want to go ahead and show you that. But looking at the storage here, from what little apps, and it does here say 5 gigabytes of total space out of 8, and it does have 3.75 gigs available to user. So pretty good amount of storage to have 5 gigabytes out of 8. At least it's not a, at least the system does not take half of the storage like a lot of phones do, which is really awesome. But like I said a minute ago about T-Mobile increasing their LTE and their voice service, well, looky here, searching for service. No bars of service, nowhere. And that's what I get here in the house. That's what I get outside. That's what I get a half mile down the road. And even a mile down the road, I might get a bar of service with 2G. Then it finally goes into LTE. So even though even though T-Mobile says we have really increased our voice coverage, they haven't done it in my area like they said they have. Because if it was, then I would be able to get service. And I am actually blanketed in T-Mobile service. But as you see there, it always says searching, and it never goes. It never even says nothing. It never even goes. It just always says searching for service. Now, the back of this phone is very hard to remove, so I'll leave it on there. This phone is very solid built. It's a very solid built phone. It's heavy. Got a nice little heft to it, which is really nice. The charging port is on the bottom. Headset jack is on the top, with the volume keys on the left and the power button on the right. And overall, for a budget device, it works good. I mean, I've not seen really any glitches in it. I have played a couple of small games with it so far. Seems to play okay. But the biggest thing, really is the screen, is the TFT display, and the viewing angles are bad playing games. If you turn it certain ways, it just really washes the screen out. Watching videos, it looks bad, and it'll kind of hurt your eyes a little bit if you ain't careful. But like I said, this phone reminds me a lot of the ZTE Prestige on the front here. Just by looking at the screen, it looks a lot like the ZTE Prestige. Just the buttons down here are switched. Instead of the back, home, and recents, it's the back, home, and recents. But the camera quality is pretty decent and good lighting. If you watch my front and rear video test of the Coolpad Catalyst. But really, there's not much else to say about it. It runs a standard 210 processor, standard 1 gigabyte of RAM, 8 gigabytes of ROM. Nothing really special. I can't really test out call quality because I have no service. Nothing like that. Battery life seems to be pretty good though. Even leaving it on, playing games, looking up things, and just kind of using it, and it always having to search for service, it does seem to hold a charge pretty well. So what are my first impressions of the Coolpad Catalyst? Pretty good. Is it worth $70 at the most, really, for this phone? I can't see that. Maybe $40-50 would be a good price. It does have LTE, a decent front and rear camera, in good lighting, 720p recording, with a nice feeling back, a nice grippy back to it, and a very solid build. Like I said, Coolpad, I've not really seen very many in the U.S. I've seen the Coolpad Catalyst and the Coolpad Rogue, and but yeah, it's a solid device, and yes, I would recommend it. as of what I have seen and what I have used, the biggest downside I have seen with the Safari is the screen quality. But if that's not really important to you, then I would say go for it. I mean, if you can get this phone for like $50, $40, $50, then I would say go for it. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. Of course, it's going to lag some if you push it hard, and stuff of that nature. I'm assuming that the call quality is going to be good because if it's like the ZT Prestige or the Avid Plus on T-Mobile, it's going to be pretty solid. Speakerphone quality, I can't tell. The ringer quality does sound pretty solid. Got some deep mid tones from what I have seen by downloading some ringtones off of Zedge and stuff like that. It does sound pretty good. It's not very loud, and being that it's kind of flat on the back like this right here, the speaker on the back can get a little muffled up. Like I said, turn the phone on and scrolling up here and scrolling around through the pages. It does seem to function pretty well without very many hiccups. So overall, it's a good phone. It's just unfortunately for me, with always searching for service and having no bars at all in my house, it's pretty much useless for me to have this phone. So I will do a review on it before I return it, and I may take a few pictures, few videos, driving around, stuff of that nature. I may not, depending on how time goes and everything. But it's just my first thoughts and impressions. A little bit long, as I see here, but yeah. I mean, if you can get it for $40-$50, I would say jump on it. It's a good, solid built phone that is it's nice, it's decent. So if you got any questions or comments, leave it in the comment section below, and I'll get back with you as soon as possible. If this was informative in any way, leave me that thumbs up. I sure would appreciate it. Be sure to subscribe to my channel down below. But that subscribe button, I'd really appreciate it. So y'all have a good one, and we'll see y'all in the next video.